Welcome to the Business Power Hour with Lisa and the Music Man. Live from Studio C at media stations in Bohemia, New York.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Business Power with Lisa and the Music Man. And Lisa is again traveling around the country. I think this week it's one of her kids are getting married again. Every other week she has a kid getting married. I don't understand that, but that's the way it happens. But we have a great co-host for tonight, somebody that I met about a year and change ago, and we've been pretty tight since that period of time. And you've heard me talk about this networking group that I belong to, and it's called NRG. And we have the founder and president co-hosting tonight, and his name is Mike Weiner. And Mike, say hello to all the fans.
Hey everybody, Mike Weiner here, Network Referral Group. I've been doing this since 2001, live meetings in Maryland. When COVID hit, we went to Zoom. If you want to reach me to learn more about the networking group, it's 443-756-9656, 443-756-9656. The website is nrg.online. Come get 3 referrals, and then I will blow your phone up with 20 more. So
I know people
Norman,
are not gonna,
it is a pleasure to co-host with you, and back to you in Studio C.
Again, people got to get used to you. So there's a whole bunch of people that are listening outside there. And what's so special about NRG, besides the leads, which you just talk about? Take a minute and tell everybody.
You know what's special? It's a family atmosphere. I run it like that, like we're meeting in my living room. And you get 3 referrals at the first meeting. You get 20 more after that. We don't have all the rules and regs some of the other organizations have. And it's very friendly. It's very open. The guest that we have tonight is relatively new, and I'm fired up with you to interview him and get his name out there. But it's just a family-run type of feel, Norman. We're 400 strong nationwide. We're in Canada. I've been doing this almost 2.5 decades, and I love what I do. We're all about law of attraction. If you know anything about what you put out to the world, you manifest. It's a real deal. And all the leaders in this country believe in that, from Tony Robbins, Ziegler used to. And, you know, you can always get what you want if you help enough other people get what they want. If it doesn't align with law of attraction, I'm not interested. So that's really what NRG is all about, Norm.
All right, we'd like to thank everyone for tuning in tonight, and it's been a great show. See ya.
We got a little more, Norman.
All right,
let's more. We got this guy Bill, who's amazing.
Let me get this show started, Mr. Weiner, if I may. And
you may.
Bill, I don't want. If your name was Smith or Jones or Green or White or Brown, that would be great. But I can handle your first name. But let everybody know what your last name happens to be.
Lamparello.
Yeah.
And, come on, there's got to be some other Lamparellos up there in New York City, but yeah, you just act like the I isn't there. So Lamparello.
All right. Well, are there any Lamparellos around the country? Because we're wide open across the United States. We got 10,000 or so people. Excuse me, that are tuning and listening to us. And if anyone would like to call this evening and speak to Bill Lamparello. How's that, Bill? Good?
Nailed it.
Please give us a call at 631-987-8477. That's 631-987-8477. Bill, why did you want to be in the shipping business?
Oh, man. Because when I was a little boy and I just dreamed of helping people with their shipments.
No, you didn't do that. No, you didn't. You never thought of that. You were a little kid. I guess you were playing baseball or basketball or whatever it may be. And Dr. Lawyer or Indian Chief, or you wanted to play for your home team baseball team or whatever. How did you get started after high school? What'd you do?
Yeah. So, after high school, I went to Temple University in Philadelphia.
Nice.
Had no idea what I wanted to do. I had, I think, 3 majors while I was there. Landed on accounting. Was always pretty good with numbers. So I got an accounting degree from Temple. Getting out of school, this was in 2009, which was, in the midst of the Great Recession. And, I was fortunate enough to get a job in financial services in Philly. And yeah, so I lived there for a couple years after college in Philly and spent the bulk of my career in financial services.
What did
And it
you
was one of
do?
those things.
Financial services is pretty
Yeah.
broad. What did you do in financial services?
Yeah, worked for so I started my career working for a global broker dealer in back office operations, held a couple different roles there. And then I ended up securing a job with a wealth management firm. It's a multifamily office based here in Lancaster, PA, where I am now. This is where I'm from and where I grew up. So ended up moving back to Lancaster and working for that firm, and I was there for about a decade in a variety of different roles, overseeing operations and project management, and really saw a ton of significant growth while I was there at the firm. So got a lot of awesome experience, but it was one of those things that, over time, I just sort of looked around and was like, what am I doing? Like, how did I even like get here? Like, you know what I mean? To your point, it wasn't one of those things where like I was a little kid and dreamt of, being in this type of a career, this type of role. It's just something it just happened, man. And it was just one of those things that, ironically, working for the firm that I worked for, it was a wealth management firm that managed wealth for entrepreneurs, for high net worth entrepreneurs, people that had operating businesses, and it was inspiring for me to like see these people who had these just unique stories about how they, came into, their success. And it was just cool to see the lives they were living, and they all had a very unique story. So it was just one of those things where I sort of got to see that firsthand. And it was one of those things like, well, how did they get into, whatever they got into, right? Because they all have very unique and different types of operating businesses. So it was one of those things like, well, I was always sort of attracted to entrepreneurship, and I always felt like I had.
But that's a pretty broad statement. Being an entrepreneur, there's thousands of businesses that you could have chosen.
Yep.
Why did you choose N Express?
Yeah, it's a great question. So, right, because it's logistics, right? And my entire career was spent in financial services, so it wasn't
Right.
like I had a background in logistics in any sort of way. But I did have a background. I have a financial background, so I have the accounting degree, and I have
You got a
a
business
familiarity
background.
with running a business and scaling a business and technology and projects and those sorts of things. So I knew that I had a skill set to run a business. So then the question was, okay, if I want to start my own business, what is that? Do I have a brilliant idea that I can go, start something, from scratch? And the answer to that question was pretty quickly no. So I landed on the franchising route pretty quickly because I knew that I could. I mean, because that's what franchising is, right? You take a proven model, you pay a fee to buy that proven model, and then you go execute the model. That's what franchising is.
Right.
So I knew franchising was, I believed in something that I could do. So then it was just a matter of doing my due diligence and figuring out what made the most sense for me. What did I feel like, was in an industry that is, in an upward trajectory, right? I needed to pick something that I believed in, had a lot of future growth. And
Well, you had a taste of that, if I can interrupt for a second, because of
yeah.
the problem we had during trucking and delivering over the last couple of years. There's been big problems. Now, how long have you had in Express? And the fact that there was a problem shipping and logistics, is that why you got into it? Why did you choose
No,
this particular franchise?
a lot of it had to do, Norm, with so COVID hit, right? And as you know, during COVID, everybody bought everything online, right? So, and I mean, e-commerce was already trending in that direction, but the world has just become much smaller, and people buy things all over the world and can get them quickly. And that is because of logistics, and it's not going away. So e-commerce was a huge factor, and it's going to continue to grow massively. So yeah, that was a huge factor in me. I landed on logistics pretty quickly because of that. So from there, it was really just researching the different franchise opportunities within logistics. So I did my due diligence. I had a lot of meetings with different companies and things
Did you
like
have
that.
a lot of meetings with different shipping, logistics companies, trucking, and so
I
on?
did.
So what
I
was
did.
unique about InExpress that made you take them?
Yeah, what I liked about InExpress is that it was full service. So
What does that
it doesn't
mean?
matter what you ship, or what mode of transit you need. we have solutions and carrier partners to be able to accommodate that. So we'll get to obviously, the ins and outs of my business and how we're able to add value to our customers. But that was unique. The international component was unique, and the other aspect of it was, and we'll explain how we don't have geographic territories or anything like that, but
you can go anywhere, any place in the United States, internationally.
Ship anything anywhere, but we can have clients anywhere in the United States as well. So that's not always the case with some of these other franchises, right? You can have a specific geographic territory. Having said that, I happen to be in an area in Lancaster, PA, where it's just ripe for opportunity. The market was pretty unsaturated in terms of other businesses like mine located here, and there's a lot of manufacturing in Central PA. So I knew that there was a lot of opportunity, and if
you're near the airport too.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. We're pretty well situated between a lot of the hubs for a lot of these big carriers, like DHL and UPS, and so there's I'm just positioned pretty nicely geographically. So it was something that after doing that whole process of going through the due diligence of everything, I was confident that I was to be able to make it happen. So I pulled the trigger.
So how long
after I got my wife to sign off on it? So that was a whole
good
other
luck
process.
on that one. How long have you now been in the shipping world?
Since last year. So we signed on in December of 22, went through training in January of 23, which was another cool thing about InExpress is they have what's called InExpress University. So it was, Brett, I don't come from logistics, so it was a lot of learning and understanding the ins and outs of the business. It's not rocket science, but there certainly is a learning curve to it.
So you
but I've been fortunate enough. What's that?
You're in the shipping business now, logistics, for about a year and change. You now have been in NRG for a few months, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah.
did you choose NRG? What was the
Well,
reason?
it's been probably about a
combine the
month.
two of them. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's been about a month with NRG. The NRG thing happened. I wasn't actively out seeking a networking group. I got connected with an individual who runs the Lancaster group, Jay Barry, and he invited me to just come. So we got connected on LinkedIn, and he invited me to sit on one of the meetings, and I did, and we had a great meeting, a great conversation, and he hooked me up with Mike, and
that was it.
I talked to Mike right after my first meeting, and signed on immediately.
Jay Barry is a really, really good guy. He's got a lot of business experience. He's got a lot of businesses.
Yeah, for sure. He's got a vast network. He's a pretty skilled guy. So, a good person to be connected with.
Mike, what did you like about Bill?
Bill, what's crazy is Jay and I met on LinkedIn about 8 years ago, and he came to Harrisburg when we were meeting live, and he signed on right away too. Bill, I was going to ask you a quick question. What is the most unique thing that you shipped so far? You used the word unique a couple of times. What's maybe something that's a little bit different? I thought it'd be kind of an interesting question to ask you.
So what's the most unique thing that I've shipped so far?
And maybe you have, maybe it hasn't been anything yet.
No,
have you had a mummy encased in something and shipped that?
So we're right now in talks. We're right now coordinating possibly shipping an airplane, actually physically shipping an airplane.
Wow.
From Egypt to China. So that's unique. So that's one. But there's some other things I could tell you about. I mean, there's so like I found that I'm here in Lancaster, PA, right, and we're like the Amish capital of the world.
Yep.
And I've found a niche with the Amish, which is awesome. I love. It makes sense for a lot of reasons, and we can get into that. But yeah, I've shipped some unique things for my Amish customers. Actually, we've been helping one of my Amish customers. They're a horse breeder, so we're shipping horse semen.
Horse semen. Wow.
Yep. So anyway, if anyone,
I'm not asking you how you got the semen. Hopefully, they collected it for you instead of you having to collect it.
So we know the horses. The horses aren't going to go the way of the dinosaurs because you're facilitating the horses to to breed and continue to grow and populate.
Listen, if you need an express carrier, you got to get it there quickly. And it's
Wow.
not my trucks. I'm not handling it. That's one of the beauties of third-party logistics,
Do you
right?
have to do you have to chill it?
Yeah, yeah, dry ice. Yes, sir.
All right, so it gets packed in dry ice. Now,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
is it one horse, two horses? I mean, how much are you delivering?
Oh, it's
A
not crazy
gallon,
volume,
couple of gallons?
I don't physically see them, Norm. I know the weights, but yeah, it's usually like one container at a time. So, yeah. But anyway, that's unique, I think, to
Yeah,
answer your
I
question,
would say
Mike.
I would say
Very
that's pretty
unique.
unique.
That's as unique as the airplane. Yeah.
I would
Airplane to
imagine.
seaman. Bill ships it all.
I would imagine the Amish also ship a lot of furniture.
Yeah, we do some furniture. You'd be surprised, Norm, at the variety of different types of industries that we work with. I mean, I mentioned the Amish, and there's a lot of manufacturing. We have tons of manufacturing customers, but e-commerce is huge. Obviously, I talked about that. So anybody, if you have a Shopify site, WooCommerce, Magento, whatever, we can integrate with any type of e-commerce platform. And obviously the types of things that people sell online can be it can be a variety of different things. But I have a lot of customers in financial services, engineering firms, land planners, architecture firms, law firms, people that need to like overnight documents and, legal documents, estate planning documents, architectural plans, things that they, are sensitive pieces of information that they need to move quickly, and they don't trust, just the postal service.
Now,
we can help with that too.
do you just ship things through trucks, or do you have vans? Do you have cars? How many trucks do you have?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we are a 3PL, which stands for third party logistics. So we don't have any trucks or anything that we own ourselves. So we're a third party. So we have relationships with partner carriers. So we have a carrier partnership relationship with UPS and DHL for small packages. So anybody that needs to ship small packages domestically or internationally, through our partnership with UPS and DHL, we're able to accommodate that. But we also any type of freight, whether it's domestically or internationally. So we do LTL, which stands for less than truckload. We can do full trucks, flatbeds. If you need to move an ocean container, heavy air freight, air cargo, we can do all of that. So that's what I was referring to back when I said, solutions across all aspects of the supply chain. But none of those are my vehicles, right? Those are all we have relationships through an express. And the way that it works is that in express, we leverage the consolidated shipping volume of our entire customer base. So we have customers in 15 countries around the world. We have 90 plus franchises across the United States. And our carrier partners look at InExpress as one customer. So all of that volume across all, we're doing over 5 million shipments a year. All of that volume, we leverage to negotiate highly discounted rates, which we then pass through to the businesses we work with. So we work with small and mid-sized businesses that can't get the types of rates, or frankly, that have the supply chain ability or resourcing that we are able to provide for them. So our target market are small and mid-sized businesses that can't get what we can offer. So that's who we primarily work with.
So you don't have a warehouse; you have an office.
No, we don't have a warehouse. I mean, we have, again, that's another thing that we can offer. If we have customers
You have
that
storage facilities if you need it.
Yeah, if somebody needs fulfillment or needs to store something temporarily in a warehouse, that we can accommodate that for sure.
Okay.
Bill, I got a question for you real
Yeah.
quick. Have you done any shipping for anyone famous? You don't have to mention like Taylor Swift or whoever, but like an athlete, a musician. Have you done anything? It may be too early in your career because I know you're just under a year now, but anyone that's kind of come out, and you don't have to mention their names, just kind of curious. Are they an athlete, musician?
Yeah. So the answer to that is yes. We moved a bed for a famous someone famous, and I'm going to leave it at that.
Okay.
Sports person?
Okay.
No, I'm just going to leave it at that.
No, we're going to see if we can get it out of you.
There was very
Norman
strict,
was his sport athlete.
there was
Some
very strict rules about doing this shipment. So yeah,
yeah,
we can't get into it.
That's an
gotcha.
interesting point. If you spend a couple of days a week making a list of sports organizations and well-known people, organizations, or whatever, and visit them, leaving a business card or so, you never know when you're going to get a call.
Yeah, I mean, and that's another thing is it's what we offer is pretty high touch. So if you want white glove service and you need something, handheld, you know what I mean? You don't want to risk having something get damaged in transit, and you need, a provider to really be able to manage that shipment for you and ensure it
Okay.
goes smoothly.
You mean
Um,
like horse semen?
yeah, like horse
The
semen.
horse semen along with the bed. You bring up a good point, Bill, because one of my members recently traveled and their luggage was lost for a day. Do you have people come to you that would rather ship their luggage than put it on an airplane? Have you had some of those
No,
scenarios?
I haven't had that yet. Actually, Mike,
Okay.
I haven't had that, but we have a lot of people that come to us that no longer trust, and I don't want to trash the postal service, but yeah, like it's just the service that you get, the reliability, the proofs in the numbers. You know what I mean? In terms of on time reliability, um, you if you use an express carrier like a UPS or a DHL, DHL is hands down the best door-to-door international courier out there, in my
How come
opinion.
you're not involved with FedEx?
Uh, I mean, that's we should ask the Inexpress CEO. No, I mean it's just
Put it in the suggestion box.
yeah, I mean, so we are an authorized reseller of UPS and DHL. That's like an official term. So we're officially we're able to sell those products on there. We're an extension of their sales staff, an indirect sales channel, if you will. So there's a lot that goes into that. From a you have to be under contract, and so yeah, FedEx just isn't one of our carrier partners, but we have plenty of people that um, used to ship with FedEx, and now they ship with UPS with us. So
There's got to be a reason.
um,
I
yeah.
remember we had spoken. I had seen you during the week at one of our meetings, and I asked about moving from house to house. And I know that's not a main part of your business, but
Mhm.
do move people? Take their merchandise out of their homes and move wherever they need to go?
Yeah, that's not a core. I mean, again, it's something that we can do. We're B2B, right? We're primarily B2B. We can be B2C, but we work with small and mid-sized businesses, and we work with regular shippers, right? People that just need to move their product. That's who we work with. And we have through our expertise and know-how, and I myself haven't been in logistics for very long, but I have a team of people that's been in logistics for very long, and they're experts in the global supply chain. So, where we add the most value are businesses that where we can really apply that expertise and know-how. So, like our best customers are customers that rely on us for their entire supply chain. So that's from sourcing their raw material, whether it's offshore or onshore domestically, and then they, manufacture and do whatever they do with it, and then they need to move it to wherever it needs to go. Ultimately, their end customers. So we have a lot of our top customers um, are the customers that look at us as an extension of their shipping department that they don't have to pay for, where we can basically we manage their whole supply chain for them.
Speaking
Um,
about customers,
mhm.
so that you can get some more customers, tell everybody how they can get in touch with you. What's your number?
Yeah, so my number is 717-719-2913, and that's my direct number. You can call
Repeat it
me
again if you can.
717-719-2913. You can call me, you can text me, you can email me. My email is just bill.lamparello at inexpress, inxpress.com. Sometimes people spell inexpress incorrectly. I've had it happen
Yeah, I'm
quite a
one
bit.
of those people.
Yeah, exactly. People like to spell it INEX. So there is no E.
We're kind of used to it.
I'm used to it. Trust
Yeah.
me. It's it's a common occurrence.
Now, in all, it's so far in the short, but yet sufficient time that you're in the business, you have any interesting stories that you could share? Anything that you
Aside from shipping horse semen, I think yeah, I mean, I just had a situation recently. We got into a startup actually reached out to me. They're a startup. They're based in Pleasant Mount, PA, and it's a pretty cool story. So they're doing some pretty big things, and they're ramping up their production, and I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for them. But they make straw filters. So like the straw filters that like if you're out going hiking, so you can like drink the water and it filters the water so you can you
okay.
can drink it. But they ship these things. I mean, obviously their market is hikers, but they have a relationship with a charity, and they ship these things all around the world to like third world countries. And one of the cool things, we shipped a bunch of these to a bunch of different countries around the world, but it was cool because we shipped a bunch to Uganda to a charitable organization out in Uganda. And we got to see, a couple of weeks later, on their website was just videos of these starving and thirsty children that like needed clean drinking water, like using these straws. So like that was cool, right? That was like it was very cool seeing like
and needed.
yeah, right. Like it's just the world. There's so much. Just look, we're in the shipping business, right? So like it's not like we're out saving saving the whales or anything like that.
It's interesting because I know that you have met Lori Landon.
Yeah.
And I know you've created a relationship with her charity.
Yeah.
What a perfect item to introduce the people that are making these straws to Lori.
Yeah,
and then
Lori and I met
yeah.
and we had a one-on-one and we talked about it. Yeah, for sure. And Lori's story is incredible. And the things that her and her foundation are doing. But yeah, for sure.
Lori's going to
Absolutely.
be a co-host in a couple of weeks also, because Lisa's going to be away for a few weeks, so we're going to
Okay.
have her come in. Any other interesting stories that you can share?
Oh man. I think interesting stories. I mean, I could give you some horror stories about
Yeah, that's an interesting story.
I mean, look, when you're doing international shipping, it can be tough dealing with customs, what I mean? Because the different country, depending on the country you're shipping to, it can be very, very difficult dealing with these the various
And with the countries and the
yeah,
laws,
customs in
right?
the different countries. So, yeah, I mean, look, sometimes things happen where shipments end up in places that you're not sure how that's possible.
And they disappear.
Yeah, well, sometimes they disappear. Sometimes they just wind up in. So, for example, we had a shipment that needed to go to Europe, and somehow, it winds up in India, and then it's in Alaska, and then it's in China, and it's in a matter of like, hours. You know what I mean? It's like, how is that even possible? Like, there's no like, it just doesn't make sense. Yeah. So anyway, there's plenty of things like that happen. It's logistics. Unfortunately, things do happen, and it's pretty incredible the amounts of volume that these the big carriers move on a daily basis. But with that volume, of course, there's things can happen.
Oh, you remember not too long ago, the entire shipping industry was laid up. They couldn't go anywhere. One jam in one port took care of everybody else.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It's scary too, because UPS just had the whole situation where there were the labor negotiations. I'm not sure if you saw those headlines,
Right.
but that kind of a thing, I mean, obviously scary for me and for Express in our business, right? As a UPS reseller, but they're doing 2.4 million shipments a day. So, which equates to, I think, was 6% of domestic GDP. So like, had UPS gone on strike, I mean, it was one of those things where like FedEx didn't want it to happen. Postal Service didn't want it to happen because they wouldn't have been able to handle that volume, right? Because these
Right.
people that are using UPS, but they need the machine keeps running, right? They got to keep their business operating. So then how do we ship it, right? But anyway, I mean, fortunately, UPS came to a deal, but it was one of those things. They rolled all the way up to Biden. They rolled all the way up to the president, where they're like, they wanted to get him involved in these negotiations so that there's not a labor strike. That's how important logistics is. People need to be able to move things. So anyway, yeah.
What's also important is your phone number. Tell everybody again twice how they can get a hold of you.
Equally as important as UPS not going on strike, my phone number is 717-719-2913.
717.
719-2913.
There you go. Just keep it on your toes. Okay, now this is the way we pay our bills. We take a short break. It's going to be about 2 minutes. You can go get a glass of water, whatever you wish, and then Mike's going to come back and ask you a couple of questions. All right, you good with that?
That's good.
Okay, here we go.
All right.
Hi, everybody. My name is Norman Wasserman, and next to me is Lisa Rodino. Lisa and I host a TV podcast show called The Business Power Hour with Lisa and the Music Man.
So what does the Business Power Hour do? We are here to talk about you and your business. We will put you on air for 1 hour to highlight your business in front of thousands of viewers worldwide, helping you generate more leads to grow your business.
And we do this every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. right here. What are you doing?
I'm keeping you on point. My name is Lisa Rodino. I am a commercial loan advisor and broker. Have you been finding that your business's cash flow is not where you need it to be? Have you found yourself taking from your personal accounts to meet your business's obligations? Have you found that those quick solutions of quick money are starting to get awfully expensive? My job is to find the right funding products for my clients so they can get back to working in their business and give me the task of finding the best options for their situation. Give us a call today to learn more. 516-268-0350.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friend Entertainment USA. My name is Norman Wasserman. I am also known as the Music Man. Let me just tell you a little bit about Friend Entertainment. We put on concerts for charities, and we do that everywhere from New York to Las Vegas. We do R&B, Motown, rock and roll, jazz, whatever it is that you wish. Friend Entertainment will deliver the best of the best for you and your charity. Here are some of the names of the talent that have performed with us on our stage. Stevie Wonder, Tina Turner, The Temptations, Earth, Wind and Fire, the one and only ELO, Elton John himself, Kool and the Gang, and the fabulous Donna Summer. Go to our website, friendentusa.com. That's www.friendentusa.com, or feel free to call us at 631-698-9696. 631-698-9696, and we'll see you at the next show. Wow, listen to the applause we're getting. Unbelievable. They're happy to see us back. Hey, everybody, here we are. All three of us.
The audience. Appreciate
Mike,
the audience.
you said you had some questions for Bill.
I do. You know, Bill, before you and I met, Jay had reached out to me and he told me about you, and I got very excited because I've been doing this 23 years networking. I hadn't had anyone shipping in a decade plus. So I was very anxious to talk to you, and I appreciate you came to a group and you joined, and we've been getting you around the circuit. I've got a couple of questions for you though, for our viewing audience, and this is being recorded, and people might look at this in a week, a month, a year, 5 years. So when you ship for someone and they're a little bit of a tough client and they ask about guarantees, are there certain guarantees that you have with shipping, like it will definitely get there, time frame? You mentioned something going to India and jumping all around. Yeah. But what are some of the guarantees? Peace of mind. I think, one of the things I find about you that's very refreshing, I'm very comfortable with you. I refer you all the time, but what are some of the guarantees that you offer to clients when they, when they say, hey, I want to do business with you, Bill?
Yeah. So there's very little guarantees in logistics.
Okay.
But when I say that, there are certain, there are different service levels that you can request, and obviously you pay more for those types of things, but
Sure.
When you're talking small packages, there's certain service levels that, so if you need something, next day air, first thing in the morning, um, you can request that. And if it's not there by that time, then you can dispute, the service that was provided and potentially get refunded, things like that. In freight, with LTL, there's guaranteed shipments where, I need it by at this location by this date and this time. And if they don't get it there by then again, same thing. So there's things like that you can do. But I think the biggest thing for us, that we try to talk to new potential customers that are interested in hearing about what we have to offer. When it comes to that type of thing, it's really the service level that you're going to get from us. So like having us as a resource, as a direct point of contact that is advocating for you, is managing your shipments. Because, ultimately, if you're a small business and you're working with, let's say, with a FedEx or working with one of the freight carriers directly, or whatever the case is, but you're not working with someone like an Express, what do you do when you have a problem or when you have a shipment that needs to get somewhere urgently, or something's lost or damaged? What do? You have to pick up the phone, and dial a 1-800 number, and you go through an automated system for 30 minutes and push a bunch of buttons and sit on hold, and then you reach somebody in India that knows nothing about your business and may or may not be able to help you, versus picking up your phone and calling me and my team, who knows and understands your business and is managing your shipment for you and is familiar with your supply chain. And we have contacts within each of our partner carriers to be able to escalate and resolve issues, quickly and easily for you. So again, and it's not a service that they have to pay for. It's free. You get better rates and better customer service if you ship with an Express. So in terms of circling back to the guarantees, I mean, we can certainly obviously offer certain types of guaranteed shipments. You have to pay for that. But from the biggest thing, I think, is just having that level of comfort, knowing that you have this team of people that's watching and managing everything for you, and that you can reach out to quickly and get a response. And
Customer service is huge. Absolutely, customer service is huge. As just a side note, I have a car that's coming off lease. I have it from a major car company. I've been trying for a week and a half to get through to speak to somebody, and all they tell me is we're having trouble with the phone lines or recording. We're having a week and a half. Major international car. You can't pick up your phone and get your telephone system fixed. Why would I want to go to buy another one of those cars, or lease another one of those cars? We also talk in NRG, well, I talk about it, is the purpose of the Business Power Hour. The Business Power Hour is about creating awareness for my clients, for you to come on and let people know whom you are. When the time comes that they can reach out to you, you give a phone number, you give an email address. And the awareness part of what we do is huge. I never had a shipping person. In all the years I'm doing this, I have not had a shipping person. Mike asked me that question just last week, not about shipping, but what industries haven't you had?
Yeah.
So it's really a pleasure to have you here and learning more about the business. And within NRG, you're going to kill. You have so much opportunity in NRG to do business with the 400 people in the 34 or 40 states that we have, that it was a great move on your part. So you better thank Mr. Barry.
For sure. Yeah. No, it's been I've met a lot of great people so far. So I'm looking forward to getting through the circuit, to Mike's point, and meeting everybody.
Absolutely.
And even if there's no, opportunity through, the connection there through their business or whatever, everybody's been awesome regardless. So it's just good to expand my network either way.
Have you spoken
See,
to
what'll happen?
Go ahead, Mike.
Go ahead, Norman.
No, go.
No, I was going to say, Norman and Lori and I talked about you, Bill, and just you going through the circuit. What'll happen is in 9 months, someone will text me and go, who is that shipping guy that came out to us back in August of 2023? So, one of the things when Norman was asking the question, we kind of touched on it, but I want to do a little deeper dive. you did your due diligence with all these different companies. You interviewed different shipping companies. Here's my favorite word. What was maybe a proprietary feature that this shipping company had that maybe you didn't see at the, I'm not being negative with the others, but something that really pulled you, and when you went to your wife and pitched it and said, "Hey honey, I want to go with this company because they do
Yeah.
this and this." What were some of the things that really fired you up about this? Because I think this is a good point for people that want to do business with you. They need to understand why you selected the company, so when you present it to them, they get it.
So InExpress is we're DHL's largest reseller in the world. So there's a lot of other, let's say, competitors and businesses like ours. None of them have a reseller relationship with both UPS and DHL. So we're the only one. So that was huge, because that meant that the whole world is at our fingertips from a shipping perspective, if you know what I mean. So
Right.
that was huge. The DHL component was huge.
Is there anything you can't ship?
No.
No, well,
No.
that's the what answer I was
No.
looking for. Simple,
No.
two-letter. No.
No. No, I mean, there's restrictions out there in terms of right now, like we can't ship to certain countries, right? Like we can't ship to Russia, and there's certain, just based on
But you
trade
can ship
trade.
anything refrigerated if necessary,
Yeah.
right?
Yep. We can. Now, there's it's more challenging when you ship perishable items, right? And the further you need to ship them and things like that, there's and it costs more and things like
Well,
that. But
that's a given, right?
we can ship anything. We can ship anything.
Hey, Bill, Norm and I are both Jewish. I've been banging on them to ship me some bagels from New York City. So I mean, when
No, I
you
want
might have
Bill to
another
come in and pick
client,
'em up.
Norman Wasserman. I'll give you my address, Norman. You can ship them through Bill's service.
Next,
And
next day,
hey,
next day air AM. You'll have them for
Bill,
breakfast.
can I have them in the morning? I have a 9 a.m.
I'll get it. I'll
Zoom.
get them
Can
to
I
you
have them
on
by
Friday.
morning?
You can. The shipping's going to cost 3 times as much as the bagels, but
Oh
No,
my
it probably
God.
would
And I love
cost a
marble.
lot more. I'm a good 5 hour, 4.5, 5 hours away from you guys.
yeah.
Hey, Norman, I love marble bagels too. Marble, my favorite.
You know, that's so
So,
wussy. Oh,
Bill, I got another
marble
question
bagels.
for you. When I sold copiers, we had a term, big elephant, and that would be like the big account. What is a big elephant that you haven't landed yet that you can put out to, for the viewers, for the NRG members? What's something in your wheelhouse? Maybe one or two things. We do this thing, pinball, Power Partners Industry Named
Yeah.
Accounts, to try and find those. But I'm going to use the word elephant. What are one or two of your big elephants you would like to ship,
Yeah. I mean,
or for who? Yeah,
yeah. Look, I mentioned how our target market is really small and mid-sized businesses, right? So that
right.
leaves out the large businesses. And the reason for that is because I mentioned how shipping's based on volume, right? The more volume you have, the more power you have to negotiate your rates with the shipping provider. So, the lower your price point per shipment. So because of the volume that we have as an entire network, that's how we get our great rates. So as a large business, though, oftentimes their volume is so high, like a lot of these, Fortune 500, these global organizations, they already have ridiculous volume and relationships with these carriers where they're not an ideal client because, they already have crazy negotiated rates. They already have a massive,
Right.
supply chain, department and things like that. Having said that, though, there are mid-sized businesses that don't necessarily have the resources in place where they have significant revenue, they have and they're moving a lot of product, but they maybe don't necessarily have the right resources in place to be able to streamline their operations, to be able to get the type of rates and carrier network that we're able to provide. So really our ideal client is somebody, I mentioned it before, where we are their shipping department, where we're handling their entire supply chain. So in, due, outs, right? We're handling the sourcing of everything. And then, the due is what the company is doing with it from, a manufacturing or whatever perspective, and then out, where's it going? So businesses that are doing that on a global scale, on a global basis, all over, shipping things all over the world. So bringing in ocean containers and air cargo from different, areas of the world, and then, the company does whatever they do with it, and then they're shipping these things afterwards all over the world. That
Question. I,
is,
I have a question for you, if I can
sure,
interrupt you for a second.
sure, sure.
Let's go. Let's make a what if situation. I am a furniture manufacturer in Philly. I hear about you, or I see you in in some kind of directory about shipping, and I make a phone call to you. Hey Bill, my name's Norman. I have a furniture company. I got about 50 or 60 high tech and high end pieces of furniture that I got to send over to New York or to New Jersey to Newark, and drop them off. What's the procedure? How do we come up with a price? What are we doing?
Yeah. So we're going to ask a series of questions to get an understanding of the weight and the dimensions of the freight that we need to move. Because that's how it works in freight, right? Like how much space in a tractor trailer is it going to take? Do we need a dedicated truck? Are we able to do it LTL, which is less than truckload, which in the LTL world, what that means is like the reason LTL is used is because it's more cost effective than just paying for an entire truck. All you do is pay for the portion of the truck that your freight is taking up. So when you're talking about moving that, that amount of that volume of furniture, we're talking probably multiple trucks. So yeah, it's just a series of information. It's just, okay, how
Okay, so
many.
now we agree to the numbers. Dude, and you get the truck and drive the truck to the manufacturer, pick up the load, and then you take it to the destination that the manufacturer wants it to go to.
We're gonna get them a quote. They're gonna say, okay, we like that price. Let's move forward with the shipment. We're gonna dispatch the carrier. So whoever the freight company is that we quoted, we're gonna dispatch that carrier. So the trucks are gonna go pick up the freight at whatever time the furniture company says they want it picked up. They're gonna load it, and then they're gonna drive it to the destination. And so we're going to prepare all the paperwork, everything that goes with it. We're going to send it to the shipper before the pickup, right? So they're going to have everything they need. The truck's going to come pick everything up. It's going to go to the destination location, and it's going to get unloaded, and that's it. Yeah, it's pretty easy. It's pretty easy. Like a lot of times we have customers that call us and say, hey, I need to move this freight, from A to B. What's it going to cost? And we can do it same day, like brand new customer. We can get a truck there that day.
So
Depending on time.
now you delivered it, you dropped it off. Now you got an empty truck on your hands. Now
That's not my truck.
It's not your truck. Okay,
It's not my truck. Yeah.
Okay, but if it's being that it's not your truck, if you had a chance to do the same type of thing on the return trip, that's a home run for you, isn't it?
Yeah. So that's how actually it works in LTL, right?
Right.
So dedicated truck is one thing because it's literally taking whatever's in it to a location, and then
And that's it.
yeah. But I mean that's not to say that then they could have another shipment that I need to go pick up another load, and they'll go fill up the
That's the
truck
home
right
run.
after. It happens, yeah. That does happen. But with LTL, the way it works is LTL, they do all of their drop offs in the morning. So they'll load the truck up at the terminal. They'll load it up with all the freight. They'll go and deliver, multiple stops, go deliver all those shipments, and then they go and do all their pickups in the afternoon. Then they pick everything up for all their pickups, and they go back to the terminal, unload it, and then it gets rerouted to wherever it needs to go. So, yeah, so that's how it works with LTL.
That's
You
great.
shared something that's pretty amazing. You pay for only the part of the truck you use. I had no idea it was like that. That's pretty
Mhm.
amazing. Pretty
Yeah, I
amazing.
mean that's
I
why.
got a que-
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
got one. Go ahead. I got one more question for you.
Sure. Oh no,
Um,
I was gonna say
we
LTL. I mean, it's just it's cost effective, right? It's a cost
Yeah.
effective way to move freight. You don't have to pay for an entire truck.
Yep.
The last question I have, legal documents.
Yeah.
Mary serves John with a divorce. Do
hmm
you do stuff like that? Legal document. We've talked about out of state, out of country, but what if it's from York to Harrisburg and the wife wants to serve? Do you ever do legal documents like that?
We do. We do. And we have a bunch of customers like that just next day air, like sensitive documents that they need to make sure it gets there quickly and with no issues.
Yes.
So that's why, like, something like that, or something like, you're a wealth management firm and you're cutting checks, sending checks to your clients, or whatever the case is, estate planning documents.
Imagine if an attorney says to you, I got some papers I'd like you to serve to this particular guy. My client needs them served. And this guy's been avoiding you every which way he can. All of a sudden, you get one of these 40-foot trucks to pull up in front of his house. He's not expecting you. You walk out. He thinks it's some information about a drop shipment, whatever. And you say, Steve, yeah, okay, you've been served.
Well, it'd be from the UPS driver. So, yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. That's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter what you ship, right? We talked about moving a plane to literally shipping a piece of paper.
Really strange. Yeah. Now, first of all, it couldn't have been a very big plane, and it has to be in pieces.
In pieces.
And what happens if you lose a screw? And you're putting this plane together, and the screw, God forbid, is missing.
It's in pieces, and it's on a boat, right? It's just, and then it's going to get put together at its ultimate destination. So yeah.
But the screw's missing, so they can't put it to get the final screw.
Then we do worldwide.
It's not up to you.
We worldwide express the screw in a small.
You go to IKEA and you ship them a screw.
Exactly.
They have a lot of screws. Okay, do you have any events coming up or anything that you'd like to share with the people listening in?
Any events coming up? No, I mean, not from an Express perspective. I mean, I know we have some events coming up for NRG, and Lori's got some events coming up for her foundation that we're going to be involved with. No, I mean, look, just for the listeners out there, it doesn't hurt at all to give me a call and to have a conversation.
What number?
At 717-719-2913. 717-719-2913. And look, just to see, like, if you're doing any shipping and you want to see, like, am I in a good spot? Like, how do my rates look? Are there any opportunity areas from an efficiency standpoint? Like, we do that for free. You know what I mean? And our service is free. So it does not hurt at all to have a conversation and just to take a look.
That's good stuff.
Hey, Bill, if you can text me when we're done, just give me an ETA on the dozen bagels Norman Wasserman is shipping to Mike Weiner. I'll give you the home address.
We have you buy a dozen, you get 18 here.
I'm going to get 18. Wow.
All right, so I'm going to ship you the dozen, and I'm going to ship you the dozen. I'm going to keep the other 6.
Okay, that's fine. As long as they get marble donuts and I got some butter with it, I'm good. I don't do cream cheese. I'm weird. I'm weird that way.
Yes, I have to attest to that. that part is true. Well, Bill, the time is almost there. I just want to give Mike a minute or so to invite some people down to NRJ. You did a great job. I thank you for being on the Business Power Hour tonight. Do not hang up. Stay just where you are, because Mike and I were going to do a little shtick, and then the night will be over, okay? And again, thank you so much.
Bill, you were amazing. I took a page and a half of notes, so I learned a lot. I'm like a sponge, because there may be something you tell me now that I can share with an NRG member. So the more educated that I am, the better I can serve you. So yeah, as far as NRG, reach out to me. I'm going to repeat the number twice. 443-756-9656, 443-756-9656. And to answer Norman's question, we do have a big event coming up, the NRG Fall Extravaganza, September 8th. You can read about it more at nrg.online. Bill will be there. Norman is actually one of our sponsors. Come and meet these guys. We've got breakout rooms. We've got sponsors. Lori's going to be talking about some of her events with her foundation. We've got magic, and we've got someone that wrote an NRG networking song, Bill, and John Weaver is going to do it with Lori Land in his duet. So it's probably going to be like Barbara Streisand and Neil Diamond coming together to sing. So Norman's like, no. But we've got meetings going on around the country, Canada, Bill's a big part of NRG now. I'm really excited. Jay got us connected, and Norman and I become great friends. Norman is amazing. He's actually 103, but he uses great skincare products. So we always joke with each other. But NRG is a family. If you're looking to grow your business, join us now. It's a tax write-off, and come enjoy the family. We have a lot of fun here, and you won't be disappointed. So,
Bill,
Norman,
is there
my
anything you
favorite
would like
line's
to
gonna
say?
be thro-
Is there anything else you would like
What's
to
that?
say before the night is over? Bill,
Oh, me.
Yes.
Goodness, just
anything
guys-
you want
I
to
thought
say
you were talking to Mike.
to people listening?
Look, no, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for having me on, listeners. I appreciate you guys hearing me out. And look, our customers, if you give us a shot, they find that the service that we bring to the table more valuable than any cost savings that you're going to get. You're going to get cost savings, but I promise you, the service that you get from us is more valuable than any cost savings you're going to get. So give us a call and let's just have a conversation. And thank you guys for having me on. It was
Did you
awesome.
say give me a call?
Give me a call at 717-719-2913, 717-719-2913.
All right, good
I got
news.
your number
Maybe I'll
memorized
see you
now.
tomorrow morning, Bill, in the Philadelphia meeting.
Yeah.
All right, but in the meanwhile, Mike, thank you so much for being co-host tonight. You did a great job, as
My pleasure.
I knew that you would. I know you're
pleasure.
exhausted for doing all the events that you've been doing today, but I welcome you, and I thank you very much. And on that note, we're going to say goodnight, everybody, and we will see you at our next Business Power Hour show. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Have a great night.
The Business Power Hour with Lisa and the Music Man is sponsored by Media Stations. Create your own media and have your own station. To get started with your own content, call or text 516-448-2066. That's Media Stations in Bohemia, New York.